Fly, Eagles, fly. 4-0. I don't know how this team is 4-0 with as many close calls as they have had. Like, I literally had to calm the F down before doing a video. Because I need to make sure my blood pressure, my blood pressure's not good. Why would it be if you're a football fan, especially an Eagles fan, when all 4 games have come down to the wire? I mean, I know they beat Tampa by like 2 scores at best, but still, you never know with this team anymore. This is clearly not the Eagles of last year. Like, they're not blowing teams out, not dominating the way they did. Like, every game has been a dogfight. And maybe that'll be good for them down the stretch. Because then that way, if they get a sizable amount of lead and blow it, we won't be hurt because, hey, they don't know how to hold a lead. Oh, my God. I mean, it's clear that our new coordinators don't have a hold for this team just yet. They don't. I mean, I can't be too mad at the defense because, not everybody can look like the fucking Bills right now because, yike. I mean, damn. I mean, I picked Buffalo to win that game because I thought, everybody was going to overhype Miami because of what they did last week, and I was right. I did not see Buffalo whooping them by 4 touchdowns. Damn. Do you think Buffalo is taking that week 1 loss just a little too much to heart? Holy moly. They're kicking everybody's ass now. And I really hope the Eagles get it figured out before they have to host Buffalo during Thanksgiving weekend because, yike. I'm more scared of the Bills than I am the 49ers or the Cowboys at this rate. Never mind any of them. How about the fucking Commanders? All right, so, for the record, yes, I was a tad pig-headed because Buffalo kicked the shit out of Washington last week, held them to 3. I really wanted to see the Eagles reciprocate that, but I knew better. It's the Commanders. It's a division game. And Washington has always been a mother-loving pest to Philadelphia. No matter who's been good, who's been bad, these games are always a damn dogfight. Just like with the Giants, something interesting is always going to happen between these two squads. And, hats off to Washington. They put up one hell of a fight. In all fairness, it definitely felt like they controlled the tempo. They had the momentum. And yet, you still lost. Statistically, I think it was even between both ball clubs. Neither team had an interception. Impressive. Neither team had a fumble lost. So, in technicality, nobody turned the ball over. Impressive. Still gave up some sacks. Eagles had 5 sacks compared to Washington's 3, but whoopty shit. It still went down to the wire. It still went to overtime. I mean, this is why I'm not a stat guy. Because when it all comes down to it, there's only one stat that matters. Who won and who lost. It don't matter that A.J. Brown finally had 2 touchdowns. Almost helped me out in fantasy, but the guy I'm playing right now has got Christian McCaffrey, who apparently is the 49ers offense. Forget they have George Kittle as their tight end, who's playing on my team. Nope, just keep running it with McCaffrey. So it's more likely I'm going to go 2-2 in fantasy. But at least the Eagles are still undefeated. I don't know how, but they are. Thank God for Jake Elliott and his leg. That guy deserves a freaking gold shoe or something. Oh, man, I tell you. If somehow the Eagles manage to get back to the Super Bowl and can ride Jake Elliott's leg, give that guy a statue. Make a statue of him kicking the 61-yard game winner against the New York Giants from Week 3 back in 2017 that pretty much set the Eagles on course to win their first Super Bowl. That guy has been a fucking legend for us ever since. Yeah, Jalen Hurts had a damn good game. He finally threw for over 300 yards. Actually outdid the other team's quarterback. Sam Howell gave a hell of a performance. And it's always got to be against the Birds, too, huh? Huh, Hal? You can't do jack shit against anybody else. But when you're playing Philadelphia, you'll play your ass off, you bum. Ugh. No, let's be real, folks. Sam Howell and that is not taking the Commanders anywhere. They're a legit contender, a wild card team at best, but let's be real. As long as he's quarterbacking, that franchise ain't going far. They're a pest. At the very best, they're a damn pest. And boy, were they a damn pest today. Oi. But you know what? I'm nowhere near as upset against Washington. Because as I said, I expected this game to be a dogfight. I expected them to give the Eagles fits. What I didn't expect was all the mind-boggling play calling by Philadelphia. More particularly, the offensive coordinator. Like, am I the only one who is seeing it? How disorganized this offense looks from time to time. Like, for every good play they make 2 to 3 boneheaded decisions that leaves the rest of us wondering, why would you call that? I mean, if it works, then yeah, obviously we don't call it out as much. But I'm calling it out. Brian Johnson, get your fucking shit together, dude. It's 4 weeks into the season, and you still act like you don't know what you're doing with this offense. It's like someone hand you the keys to a fully gassed up Ferrari, and you don't know how to get it in full throttle. I mean, what the fuck? What the ever-living fuck, dude? It's like, say you have an automatic vehicle. You don't know how to get it. You don't know how to get it in gear, but it's automatic. Let me give you an example of what drives me crazy with Brian Johnson's play calling. So, let's just go into overtime. The Eagles stopped the ball. The Eagles forced a punt. Washington got possession first. They forced a punt. And I'll be honest, not to derail myself, which I'm good at doing. Let me just point out that I forget who it was that made the initial reception, but he was ruled out of bounds because he didn't have his other foot in bounds. Reed Blankenship was on the coverage. You'll know who I'm talking about if you go back and look. I'll be honest, I really thought they would have given it to him. Because the way I looked at it, it looked to me like there was a thin line of green grass between his toes and the out-of-bounds marker. Now, granted, they say that because his foot was on top of Reed Blankenship's wrist, which, ouch, that had to fucking hurt. Like, that guy's damn spike heel shoe on top of his wrist. I'm surprised if he doesn't have that thing strained for the rest of the week, because that had to fucking hurt. But still, they still ruled him out of bounds, saying that he did not have 2 feet in bounds, which I am shocked, because the angle I had, it looked like there was enough to maybe overturn it and fuck the Birds, and I'm surprised they didn't call it. So they must have valued their lives, because the Eagles fans would have hit the fucking proverbial roof. So the Birds get the ball, their first possession in overtime. So at this rate, whoever scores first now wins the game. Okay. And they started off with good field position. The Commanders had a bad punt. So the Eagles are in good position. They were already at Washington's 45. The Eagles were at their own 45. And you have one of the best kickers in the league. So all you got to do is just get it into his field goal range. Just get it into the field goal range. Inside the 45 at best. Or inside the 40 at best of Washington. A couple pass plays, that's fine. Or at least one at best, just to get it past midfield, which they did. So we come to 2nd down and 3 on the Eagles' first and only possession of overtime. So it's 2nd down and 3. You're pretty much already into Jake Elliott's field goal range. So at this point, you would think the smart thing to do is to just run the football and just stay in field goal range. No. He calls a bomb play to the fucking end zone. And surprise, surprise, it didn't work. Like, is it just me? Like, the Eagles won a dogfight of a game in overtime to go 4-0. They avenged last year's home loss against the same team that ended their 8-0 streak last year. You think I would be happy about that? And I just got an alert here that said Christian McCaffrey has a hat trick. He just scored his 3rd touchdown. So the guy I'm playing in fantasy is now blowing me out, and I'll bet you George Kittle's just sitting on the bench twiddling his thumbs. Why even have Kittle? He's not doing me any good. I'm going to have to look to trade his ass or something because I need a tight end that's going to get play time. Son of a bitch. Anyway, back to me bitching about Brian Johnson play calling. Yeah. Why are you throwing a bomb on 2nd down and 3 when you're already in Jake Elliott's field goal range? And then they had the questionable wide receiver screen pass play, which I'm never a fan of because they rarely ever work. And I don't know why you're calling it at that particular point in time. A screen pass to the wide receiver, that's a play you throw when you're playing a shitty-ass team. Not a team like the Commanders. Or you try that at the very beginning of the game, not when it's neck and neck and down to the wire. And you want to know why Brian Johnson felt comfortable calling a short wide receiver screenplay that barely got any yards? Because he knows he's got the best quarterback sneak play in the NFL. Nobody does it better than the Eagles. And for all you sour pusses out there that think it should be illegalized, get over it. Just because the Patriots ruined so much of pro football for everybody, don't be like that, all right? You don't want it to happen to you? Then figure out a way to stop it. Or do what the Eagles do. I mean, I think the Commanders used it on them at one point during the game. So yeah, it's there for a reason. For a 4th down and short yardage situation. We can't use fullbacks anymore. So what do you want? Anyway. And then you had the Jalen Hurts intentional grounding call. Which again was not necessary because then it knocked them at a field goal range. That's when I lost my shit. I'm like, are you guys deliberately trying to keep Washington in the game? It feels like you're trying to keep Washington in the game. It's like the committee, whoever, the powers that be, called Nick Sirianni down on the field and told him to tell his offensive coordinator to call one of the most boneheaded pass plays you could think of at a time when you didn't really need it, where you had the game well in hand. You had a clutch kicker, and all you had to do, you have a great ground attack with a great O-line, so all you had to do was just be smart and run the fucking football and stay in field goal range. No, instead, you nearly not only get your quarterback hurt, maybe turn the ball over, you get an intentional grounding call that takes you out of field goal range. What the fucking hell are you doing? Why the fuck should I be satisfied with that? If my team is going to lose, I want the other team to beat them with their earned effort, not a freebie. But thankfully, they had to throw the ball, and they managed to get back into field goal range. and Elliott won the game with a 54-yarder. And all I could say is thank fucking God that's over. My heart rate is still up. I'm surprised I didn't have a stroke. This team is literally going to kill me if they keep doing stupid shit like that. It's like, I can tolerate a close game. I can tolerate the other team's effort. I can tolerate a bad ref call from time to time. But when you're beating yourself with boneheaded play calling and decision making, that's when I'm going to lose it. Don't beat yourself. And I swear to God, that's what the Eagles are trying to do. Yay, they're 4-0. I should just be happy. The game is over. Fuck Washington. Fly, Eagles, fly. Woo! But come on. Let's be realistic here. All right? I'm not some blind delusionalist that's going to be like, yeah, man, woo, we're going to win it all this year, baby. Yeah, we got the defense. No, we don't know what we got. Yeah, we got a 4-0 team that looks so damn dysfunctional. The defense can't stop anybody. They're bend but don't break. And the offense, I don't know. For whatever reason, when they start to get hot, they immediately go cold. And you still got 2 games with Dallas coming up. You got Miami coming up, Buffalo, San Francisco. Like, there's plenty for me to be nervous about. Because as of right now, I'm going to tell you right now, they all look like losses to me. And not just competitive, like, I see the Birds getting their ass kicked. Now, hopefully, this will be incentive that they will not get their butts kicked and make me put my foot in my mouth, which I will gladly accept. Literally every game's a dogfight. Every game is going to be a dogfight for this Eagles team. Up next, it's on the road to LA, who nearly lost themselves. Like, they had a 23-0 lead on the Colts. And give Anthony Richardson credit. That kid is coming into his own. Led the Colts on a wild comeback. 3 touchdowns, 3 successful 2-point conversions, but they still lost in overtime. It is what it is. So, this is definitely another winnable game for the Birds. But I won't be surprised if it's interesting in the least. I think that's going to do it for this video. I'll probably do a full recap of the weekend events, as well as what happens in the primetime games. Probably shoot for Wednesday here. So, hoi, fly Eagles fly. 4-0, man. Still undefeated, but yeesh, I don't see it getting any easier. I mean, the Rams and Jets are definitely winnable games. So at best, the Birds will probably be 6-0. And then come the Miami Dolphins for Monday night. Ooh, boy. Can't wait. All right. Peace out, everybody. I need to calm the hell down.